is a jewelry design center.
JDC is a family-owned business with deep roots in Montana. Why Montana? Because this community made us. Made us family, made us artisans, made us believe in love, made us hometown heroes. Because this community made us shine. Why Montana? Because Montana is home.
Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
Did you know that the vast majority of storage unit companies around Montana are being bought up by private equity firms? If you want to do business with a family-owned, locally operated storage company, you want to do business with Copperstone Storall. Copperstone Storall Storage Units is Montana's largest boat and RV facility, and a new expansion is on the horizon, offering even more premier, spacious units to store everything from boats to RVs, campers to trailers. Find the perfect sized unit today at Copperstone Storall. Visit online at copperstonestorage.com or call 728-STORE. That's 728-STOR. Back for another week, and we're into the midpoint of the season, which is sort of crazy. Jordan Tripp back from his trip to Pocatello, joining us here on the Big Sky Breakdown. And I was texting you about, we were texting about the Griz and the thriller that they were able to come out on top in, but also just how good I thought Idaho State was. And then I was creeping around Pro Football Focus last night, looking on some of the grades and the way the teams are grading out. And at the midpoint, they had like halfway point grades for the teams. Thought this was fascinating. Montana State were basically tied. Top grades, not surprising, 2 top 5 teams. Idaho State was third in the grading of PFF, and you saw it live in person. I was really impressed with Idaho State, and I actually feel bad for them that they have the schedule that they do, because they got to go to Bozeman this week. They've already lost 4 games. They lost 2 FBS games. They lost the game when their quarterback was hurt, and then they lost a shootout with the Griz. No bad losses, really, when you consider that, the Southern Utah game, Jordan Cook was out. But now they got to go to Bozeman, and then they got to play NAU, and then they got to play Davis. It's like, where are they going to be? It's too bad, because I think, like, if you just started them week 1 in the Big Sky and they didn't have to play all that preseason, they might be a team that could contend for like a 4th or 5th playoff spot. I don't know, but you saw them live in person. What did you think of that team?
That's a playoff football team, and it was funny. We talked to Cody Hawkins earlier in the week, and that was what keeps coming up. We want to be a playoff football team. We want to have a winning program, and he said, I don't know what's going to happen with our schedule or our team this year as far as a record goes. He goes, but the next 4 to 5 weeks, he goes, it's playoff football, and that's the way that you have to look at it. And you go back and look at their schedule. I mean, they've started off with UNLV. They damn near beat UNLV, but Jordan Cook didn't protect the ball. So not to say, well, if this team beats this team, then they could beat this team. Well, UNLV goes and kicks the hell out of UCLA. Well, who just goes and beats Penn State? And Penn State loses to Oregon in a freaking battle. So my point is, Idaho State's not what their record shows, and they are absolutely lethal if Jordan Cook is on point like he was against Montana. And Montana, I think that they did about as good of a job as they could have done stopping or slowing down their offense the way that Jordan Cook played. Yeah, they put up 38 points. They had 2 4th down stops late in the game to win the game. They had no answer for that dude when he was making all the throws that he was making. And it's not like they were coming down with crazy catches. I mean, he was dotting people up, and he was doing it in man coverage, which is a little bit, to me, like we talked, concerning when you go into Bozeman, because they're more zone heavy, and that's when he's gotten into trouble turning the ball over is against zone. I mean, there's zone and man concepts, vice versa with each other, but that's kind of what is giving him some fits. But I really think that Idaho State can cause some problems in the conference this year. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to end up in the playoffs just because of their schedule, but
Totally.
they could have won one of the two. FBS games. I mean, they very well could have.
Yep.
Jordan Cook doesn't go out against Southern Utah. They beat them. And now, I mean, Montana got out of Dodge. I mean, good football teams win when the game's on the line. Montana did that. But, hey, they've been in some close ones against some really good teams. I mean, are they going to pull one or two or maybe three of these out down the stretch? Time will tell. I don't get the same sense of this team that I have with other Idaho State teams in the past. I don't think that these guys are just going to fold and give up. I don't think Cody and Duff will let them do that. I hope not. I'd like to see them be competitive, man.
Well, and they had it going a little bit when Finn was there too, and Rob Fennessy was there. And then they made, I mean, Charlie Raggle was in the mix with a lot of different programs because he's a smooth talking, great recruiting dude. A lot of people thought he was Jeff Choate light. And he's just one of those guys where I just don't think he could handle, like, he's just meant to be an FBS coordinator. Like, and that's what he is now again at Arizona State. But like,
No doubt.
it was just a one and done thing. And it really, it hurt him because they didn't, I mean, they only won one game. You know, he had all his health problems. He's missing game. It was a crazy year, but like Fenn had some progress, and then it sort of got halted. And then Hawkins had to like dig him out of that hole and dig him back up. But I mean, it's funny because everybody thinks that they've just been so bad for so long, but they actually haven't been that. I mean, Kramer had two good teams. Fenn had a good team. So like they have been like pretty good.
And they've beat some teams. Yeah, they've beat some teams over the last 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
On losing records that they've had for their season. And it's just you're sitting there wondering what coach or what team's going to put it together to where they are going to start winning some of these games that they traditionally have lost when the game's on the line and close.
Yeah.
So, what up, E?
What's going on? Man, those are some nice medals.
Yeah, man, these are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
Well, that's nothing like going to March Madness, though.
We did go to a national championship.
Okay, guys, whatever. Let's just get on the Montana party bus and head over to Press Box for lunch.
Yeah.
Nuanez now and Skyline Sports, covering Montana athletics and the Big Sky Conference better than anybody. The Montana Party Bus and the Press Box are also proud supporters of Montana athletes.
Hey, cheers to you guys, man. Cheers to Montana. Cheers to chasing more championships.
Thanks so much for listening to our Big Sky Breakdown podcast series and for tuning into our Skyline Sports YouTube channel. If you have not, please rate, review, and subscribe. Particularly subscribe. Click on the subscribe button. That helps us out a ton. Thanks to our great partners who help make all of this content possible, including Ty Hobbs at Keller Williams Real Estate. Ty's a great friend of mine, guy I lift weights with in the mornings, and a guy I golf with as much as I can, but he's also an ace realtor. I did not choose him as my realtor because he's my friend, although that was a big perk. He is excellent when it comes to everything from efficiency to negotiation to no frills, no BS. He got our house on the market and got it sold in less than 24 hours, more like 4 hours. It was an impressive turnaround. He got us exactly the contract that we wanted. We needed to stay in our house for a couple months because we had a new build coming up. He negotiated that flawlessly. The negotiation part is the number one reason why we chose Ty, but he also has a great acumen when it comes to construction, building, remodels. We had a flood in our house that I needed help with repairing. Boom. He helped me out. Awesome service, awesome job. And if you're in the market for a realtor, Ty Hobbs is your guy. Let's hear more about the current real estate market from the man himself. So let's start with, how would you characterize the real estate market currently in both Missoula and Western Montana?
Well, currently in Missoula, we've seen a rise in inventory and buyer activity slow down a little bit. So it's turning more into a buyer's market, more than I've probably ever seen in the last 10 years or so.
So what does that mean, a buyer's market? How would you define that?
A buyer's market is really just means that there's more homes for sale than there are buyer demand. So buyers have choices, especially in negotiations.
And that means less leverage for somebody that's selling their house, more leverage for somebody that's tried to buy a house, correct?
Correct. More leverage for buyers.
Okay, so if you are a buyer and you hire you as your realtor, how do you go about then sort of taking advantage of that said advantage?
Well, right now you have the upper hand in negotiations, right? And first we start with a CMA and get a value and see where that price falls in, or where the value is for the buyers. And And then there's other things that we can negotiate, such as like seller concessions to help buy down the interest rate or give you a temporary break or relief on an interest rate to help with that monthly payment, so to speak.
So if people want to find out about that and other listings that you have, how do they find them?
Best way is just get a hold of me by phone, 406-544-9794.
It's an interesting deal, but I explain this part to people because I was breaking this down earlier this week, but you could probably explain it better. Montana, the defense they run is the defense they run, and they're going to be in man so often. Like last year, they kind of scrapped it to like save face a little bit, but mostly they don't ever really like when people are like, why don't they adjust? Basically it just comes down to executing better, right? Like they did make a couple adjustments in that second half because they were down Keon Loud, which kills you in that game because he's your best guy, and they were down Peyton Wing in the first half. Him coming back helped them a lot. Then they put Harper in the slot, to cut off that slant a little bit. That helped them too. But more than anything, they started knocking Cook off his spot and disrupted the timing. And I guess explain this part though. Idaho State's the worst matchup in the league for the Griz defense. Just if, like you were saying, if Cook gets the ball out of his hands quick.
So there's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why it's such a tough matchup. Football is inherently just a matchup type game. I mean, there's some teams that are better than other teams, but the bad team might match up with a physical running game much better, and they might actually give them a fit as opposed to the team that's ranked higher or better or whatever. So, for example, Montana with the 3-3-5, or I mean, call it whatever you want to call it. They show a 5 down, they show 4 down. It's how are they going to get 4 rushers? How are they going to get 5 rushers? And how are they going to get 6 rushers? And when they bring 6, which they brought a lot of the time, especially on third down, you bring 6, you're forced to play 0 coverage. You have nobody else. It is man-to-man, and that's it. So when you have a quarterback like Jordan Cook, who has typically he has such a live arm, but he has typically made mistakes down the stretch when he makes some of these throws, and it's been against zone coverage. It's really dangerous to throw across the middle and around the hashes on in-breaking routes when you play against a zone team. Well, when you bring 6 people, you have a 6'3", a 6'4", and a 6'6" receiver, and then some fast guys in the slot who understand leverage, and they sight adjust and they run off of your leverage. It's hard because now Jordan Cook's got a live arm. He's confident and he knows where he's going with the football, and he's throwing it there. So then you saw those issues where they were catching a lot of those balls around the hashes, or I mean, back shoulders, or like, holy cow, this guy's a world beater. And he was. I mean, he showed up, but he a lot of the explosive plays that Idaho State had were against man coverage. So to your question, why did the Griz not play more zone? They threw some wrinkles at him. So like instead of bringing 6, they would bring 5, and then they would go like a fire zone type coverage, or they'd bring 5 and then they would have like a low hole player or a post safety. So then like if the back would stay in and block and the linebacker had the back, instead of adding on to their rush, they might sit back in the hole and take away the slant while they still have the back man-to-man. So what it did is it makes Jordan Cook pull off of his first read or pull off of a read, and the rush can get there. So in the second half, you saw almost more of a 4-down look, and then like an apex linebacker or an apex Micah Harper, to where he's playing zone and you're in the slant windows more, and you're bringing 4 or you're bringing 5 instead of going all out and bringing 6. They still brought 6 in the second half. It just wasn't as much. You saw almost more of a traditional like 4-3 cover 3 with 4 under, 3 deep, and it just obviously 4 verts against cover 3 will smoke you, but it's a hell of a lot better than 0 coverage and a 6'6" receiver running a slant route when nobody can. I mean, he's just got so much body that you just can't get around him. So that's why it's a matchup nightmare.
Yeah,
it's because Montana plays man. Jordan Cook's got a strong arm, and they got big ass receivers who it's hard to catch or break up a catch when you have such a big receiver.
Well, and the to me, the peak of when they've been running this 3-3-5, like the peak of soundness was in 2023 when they had all those guys that have been around forever. But the peak of when it was like purely just chaos and they were just destroying teams in the box was like the like the 2021, 22, when Robbie Houck was still there, when they had Justin Ford playing corner. They had, to me, in this defense, if you have a dominant inside guy, which they did in Gubner, you got dominant corners, which they did in Justin Ford and Corbin Walker. You got dominant safety who can run the alley, which they did in Robbie Houck. And then you got dominant inside linebackers who can blitz. That's when you're going to mess teams up the most. And like that Griz team, that like 2021, like that team literally, they could only lose on one play. And that's when teams attacked them up the seam. And basically it was just a trade-off. If your quarterback can stand in the pocket and get his ass kicked and deliver, you can beat us, but we're going to dare you to do that because we're going to do it to you every single time. And they just happened to play a James Bassett team that had 2 league receivers that quarterback that could make that throw. But that's what it is, and that's sort of like what the trade-off is. That's, to me, the one thing that's missing right now is that they're not quite getting there. They are messing up the timing, but they're not getting to the quarterback as much as they need to.
So like obviously when you have good DBs and they make the quarterback pull off their first or second read, when you bring 5, you bring 6, ball's got to come out. Now, if you're covering, if you get beat by a double move, it's not, I don't want to say it's not your fault, but you shouldn't be getting double moved. The quarterback shouldn't have time to do that. And that's why Idaho State, this is probably the cherry on top of why it was such a bad matchup nightmare for Montana, is because Cody Hawkins doesn't have their quarterback throw the ball. He has his guys reading sight adjustment, 1 at wideout, and 2, Jordan Cook is knowing where he's going to go with the ball. Damn near every single time before. He's not going to sit back there and read. And when he sits back there and reads, he gets in trouble. So if you look historically at Idaho State, last year they led the FCS in sacks allowed, and they're taking a lot of offensive snaps. This year they're leading the FCS in sacks allowed because the ball comes out so damn fast. You wonder why, and I'm not calling him Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes, but some of the reasons why those guys are so good, they stay so healthy, and they play for so long, it's because the ball comes out, and it comes out now. I don't care if you're James Harrison, if you're Von Miller or whatever. It's physics. You can't get there in 2.5 seconds.
Correct.
When it comes out, I don't care if you blitz 6 and it comes out. It completely nullifies any effectiveness of pressure. It just takes it away. So go ahead and bring 6. Thanks. You just gave us man coverage across the board. You're probably going to be, and I'm not saying I'm a D coordinator, I'm not Tim Houck or Roger Cooper, but you're probably going to give Jordan Cook more issues if you drop 8 and make him read. Seriously.
Right.
Because he's got to worry about people dropping into other zones and reading coverages. And so that's part of the issue with playing against a team like Idaho State. I think that Montana has the personnel to be dominant like they were in 21.
Yeah.
The more that these guys play together.
Yeah.
I see a lot more speed. I see guys up front who can win one-on-ones and win against double teams. And I not just because I'm a linebacker guy, but I see physical guys on the edge and inside that can run that we didn't have the last few years. So really since Braxton and Flink and those guys. So yeah, man, it's going to be fun to see this team continue to evolve. But football's a copycat league, man. And when people see Idaho State winning the way that they won, you're gonna see that until you stop it. So
yeah, we'll see some of that. We'll see some quick slants out of the slot from Cal Poly on Saturday. There's no doubt about it. I think the next 2 steps though, because the Griz, the pass rush has been a point of conversation. There is a game within the game though too, right? Like North Dakota's number 1 offensive priority was to get the ball out of Comiskey's hands as fast as possible, right? Yep. That's what they were doing. And Bobby Houck was willing to live with it. And they sputtered on offense that made Montana have to come back and win that game. But they actually did a pretty good job of sort of shoring it up there.
No.
Idaho, Houck knew that they were just going to run around crazy chicken with their head cut off. And he said they're not going to beat us playing backyard football. Well, that guy's a great athlete. We know he's going to score some points. But we just knew that once we were in control of the game, we would control the game. And that's what they did. Mm-hmm. And then, on Saturday, they're just not quite getting there. But to me, though, I think that the 2 things that need to come along, I think this is a matter of a lot of these new guys learning the scheme, is 1, there's always been this talk, like when Governor was there, he was eating up all these blocks. More than anything, though, he shifts the protections. The things he did so well is he would flash across the center's face, and immediately you just screwed up three guys. I mean,
you cut the line in half.
You cut it in half, right? And you screwed up three guys. Three guys are what the hell's going on? And now those A-gap blitzes and stuff, those guys are running free. And that's where, Jace Lewis and Marcus Wellnell and Braxton Hill, they had all these sacks because of that. So that's got to come along. And I don't even think it's a physical talent thing. I think it's just a matter of those guys like learning the
scheme.
Yeah.
But also too, and they've obviously it's the halfway point. The guys go through camp, but you gotta play ball and understand ball and get enough reps in this system, in any system really, to be able to play it consistently at a high level. And I think that some of the youth that was on the field, in particular on the perimeter, the DBs, when you have smart receivers who are taught to, and I keep using the term sight adjust, understanding the leverage that the defense is playing. So if you're in zero coverage, you should never in a million flipping years give up a slant. You need to play inside man until the dogs come home. You cannot give up a slant. It's like you just can't. I mean, especially like things are magnified in the goal. I mean, in the red zone area because things happen so quick. So I think that younger guys understanding more, not just understanding on a board when the coach tells them, hey, what leverage do you have here in this coverage? Inside man. Okay, well, now you got to apply it. You got to take that next step against a 6'6" or 6'4" and a 6'5" receiver, and you got to own that. It's like, hey, the ball's going to come out. I got to own my inside leverage. Or we're in two-man right here. I'm playing inside leverage. Or we're in, man free. I got a low hole help. Like now I can play outside leverage. I mean, it's just certain things where you got to understand your leverage. And if you don't, all it takes is one guy to screw it up against a good quarterback.
Yep. And then the last thing I'm seeing that I think will continue to come along is because you've talked about the knockoff, especially some of those outside guys, the guys that are playing like the edge linebacker, like Aluski and Tuliapupu. Those guys do have great buck. They could get separation, but then they hand fight, and sometimes they don't like. You got to get off the block, right? That's what O'Connell was so good at. He didn't mess around. That's what you were so good at too. Like you don't get in a hand fight with this guy that weighs 40 more pounds, and you get him out. Right. Let's go, let's run, right? Like, and that's one thing I wonder. Like Tuliapupu was almost too strong. Like he gets into wrestling matches with guys all the time, and he's chucking them all over the place. But then like there's the balls over here or whatever. I just wonder if that's going to come along too with those guys. First of all, let Tuliapupu knock it off the rust, and then Aluski. I mean, he was he's kind of been banged up, so I don't know. I just think those guys, they have a lot of talent. I just think they need to. There's one more step they can make.
More reps and the more playing together, the more. And I mean, you hear Coach Houck say it. I mean, I really think that this defense is. Yeah, Idaho State put up 38. That's an explosive offense, matchup nightmare. I'm not making excuses for them. You go and look at Indiana State and Idaho State. They're a top 10 defense right now, and I mean that's just flat out. They got one of the best red zone defenses in the entire country. I mean, there's reasons behind it. They have given up some points and some plays that they probably shouldn't have from a talent perspective. It's just playing together, and the more that they play together, I think that their best football is in front of them. Not to have coach speak, but I really think that it is. I mean, when you look at the places that they've gotten beat, and I guess I'll simplify it by saying this: they've gotten beat not because of talent, but because of alignment, owning your assignment. They're not getting out athleted. They're damn sure not getting out physicaled. But like you said, little things like getting off of a block because you're going to snatch the guy off of a block, not because. And I also understand too, like if you need to hold the edge and collapse it rather than throw off and then create vertical separation. Like I understand that they're coached to do those types of things, but it's all about playing together and understanding the defense that you need to play within. And that just comes with reps, and that's when it gels and when it comes together. And hopefully you're playing your best football come, the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and you win all your games up to it and then into the playoffs.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road, pump it up.
Water damage happens, unfortunately. And the number one thing you can remember is calling a professional and calling us to let us handle it.
Top 3 things: you can isolate the source, locate what's been leaking. If you can turn the water off to the source, that helps us. The sooner we stop the source, the sooner it is dry.
Time is very important. So if you come home from work 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, midnight, for working a late shift, and you find that water, it's imperative that you get that water shut off and you call us immediately. And we have technicians 24 hours a day that will show up day or night, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to take care of you and stop any further damage as quick as possible.
And they're also, it's funny because I was a young sports writer. I used to obsess over statistics, and like I'd always be poring over all the stats. And as you grow older and also you just learn more about football, like there are some stats that are so impactful, and the head coaches will tell you that, right? Like turnovers and time of possession and negative plays and things like that. Big plays on special teams, mistakes on special teams, block kicks. That stuff is absolutely
always.
What the stat is what it is. But to me, yards and tackles are both two of the most worthless stats, because there's a lot of times where the guy that has the most tackles is because he's getting attacked the most, right? He's the guy that messed up the most, right? But also like yards, like I remember when it's you and Brock and who was your third linebacker? You guys had another. Oh, Jake Kanagata. Was it Kanagata? Yeah. And you guys, there was that game against Cal Poly.
Oh my God.
And I remember Cal Poly ran the ball 90 times, and you guys gave up like 375 yards rushing. And I remember people were like, I remember the Griz fans were like, why do the Griz suck at run defense? I remember talking to Gregorak about it, and he's like, dude, you can't give up less yards rushing when the team runs the ball 100 freaking times at you. Like we are giving up.
I think it was seriously, they ran the ball 70. I remember this. It was in 2013. They ran the ball 79 times. I want to say it was 79. We could look it up. But
it's like almost amount of times, right?
Yeah, and it was like 345 yards rushing.
Right. Like Gregorak's like, okay, if you play the option perfectly, you're going to give up perfectly. You're going to give up like 2.8 to 3.5 yards per carry. So this is as good as we can play. And all these Griz fans, I'm not just dogging on Griz fans. This is fans everywhere, right?
Oh, it's so true,
but
man.
It's the same deal, right? Like this is the same statistical thing we're talking about with both the run game on Saturday night in Pocatello. The Griz didn't run the ball at all. And Gilman had no yards. Why? Because Idaho State put 9 dudes in the box and said, beat us. Like, figure out a way to beat us like this. Same thing on the other side. Coach Houck said, hey, we're going to race your run game. Let's see if Cook can do it. Let's see if he can throw it.
And that was the game plan. Make him beat you with his arm. And guess what? He did it for damn near the whole game until the end. And that's just football, man. And it's so funny you say that, because stats, there are important ones. Some of the ones that get coined as the most important really don't matter.
Well, it's like Coach Houck said after the game. It's a points game, not a yards game. So stop asking me about the yards.
Hey, I mean, you and I could talk about this. I mean, how many god-awful teams have insane amounts of yards?
Oh,
I mean, it's
right.
Yeah, it's like
the 2015 Cats led the country in total offense by like almost 100 yards a game, and they went 5-6 because they were playing chase the whole game, and they were,
airing it out the whole game. Yeah,
right. Because you're losing, and the only statistic you need to know is that the NFL record for pass attempts in a season and passing yards in a season was set by Matthew Stafford on a team that won 4 games.
Yeah,
for the Detroit Lions, right? Like he had the greatest statistical season in NFL quarterbacking history,
and that's all you need to
have like 2,500 yards. And guess what? They won nothing. They missed the playoffs by 10 full games. So
they were eating Thanksgiving dinner at home.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you think the Griz need to do to build off of this game though? Because now now we're reaching a different thing that we've seen in Coach Houck 2.0. I mean, this is the first time the Griz have been 5-0 since 2009. So this has been a while, right? Where you've had this long of a good start. You got to be able to parlay this good start and carry the momentum. So what sort of things do you think they need to do to carry it now into October?
this is gonna sound so cliche because it's 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 so monotonous and so simple, but the fact of doing it is what is difficult. And you have to continue to have a beginner's mindset and restart every single week. And just you hear when coach, I mean, it's funny because you can hear Coach Houck.
He obsesses over this.
He obsesses over it. You hear him in his press conferences after the game, and especially on Monday. It is like you're sitting in the meeting room, and it's just like you hit the restart button and insert Cal Poly. You hit, I mean, and it's just like they have a good quarterback, they have a good running game, their special teams as well, coach. This is the coach, this is the history. What we need to do this week is our job and focus on execution. So what do they need to do? They need to start over every single week and continue to build on their preparation from game 1 to game 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all the way through the end of the season. Because if you don't, like the little monotonous things like we're talking about, if you don't work on your technique and understand leverage properly, like you did, and I guarantee you they did that in training camp. You got to keep doing it, and just you got to keep staying on the kicking game, and you're practicing your tackling, and you got to stay in the weight room, you got to stay in the film room, you got to stay in your playbook and understand all these things, because the more that you play, the bigger the target you have on your back, and the more that the little things. That's why Coach Houck is obsessing over details, and he always has. The details make the difference, man, and he has always said that. And so you just got to stay detailed. You got to you have to take care of your body. You got to do all the little things right, and that's what allows to have the big things happen. So, I mean, for us sitting here, big picture, what do people at home want to hear? I mean, you have to protect the ball. You have to emphasize it. You have to learn how to take the ball off of people better and attack the ball on defense. And you got to play sound in all three phases. You got to can't have people doing their own thing. You can't don't try to force anything. Don't try to make stuff up. You just got to stay true to what Coach Houck is force feeding you, man. So that's all I got.
Well, and it is so interesting because nothing always goes according to plan every year, but when it does go according to plan, the incremental build of Bobby Houck's teams have been strikingly similar to me when they're good. And that is in September, you play as many guys as you possibly can, try to get them in the best situations you possibly can, the hardest situations you can, all that stuff. Then in October, you're grinding, and he's grumpy every Monday, every time we see him.
Oh, yeah.
It's never about what we did well. He's never pumping he's never gassing anybody up. It's always, we got to do this better, this better, this better, this better, this better, this better. He's never celebrating the win. It's on to the next one. And then in November, they flip it, pedal to the metal, and then they roll with all their best guys. And that's when we've seen some of these Griz runs that go into December and beyond. So the formula is pretty defined at this point. Do you expect him to be, I'm expecting him to be pretty hard on this team and just pretty hard in general this next month.
You can tell that I mean, I haven't talked to him about this, and he hasn't told me this, but you can tell that he has I think he has high hopes every year, but like and I'm not saying he doesn't believe every year, but he has a true belief and high hopes for this team in terms of potential. Yes. And the reason that I say that is because when you start hearing him talk the way that he talks, it's because, and he's being very critical, it's because he thinks that this team has a special opportunity. And when you hear him say something like, we're very inexperienced, we're going to get better, and we have to continue to work at it. That's very true, but that's him being very critical and him letting his guys know, because they're gonna hear that. They're sitting right there. I guarantee you says that to him in the meeting room. We're inexperienced. We need to keep getting better. We need to focus on our fundamentals and nail those things down. It's because he knows that's what's going to make the difference. You and I got done talking about how when they have been beat on certain plays and matchups, it's not because of talent.
Right.
I mean, football's not a perfect game, but they're not getting beat because their guys aren't fast enough or physical enough or smart enough. It's just because you've had a mental lapse and a lack of attention to detail that's allowed for a play to happen that shouldn't have happened. So that's why you need to continue to buy into what he's teaching you, and the unbelievable staff that he has is teaching you, is because they know ball, man. And I guarantee you that's the difference in a successful team, is what quantity and percentage of the group of men is going to buy into what he's selling, because that pedigree will win. And so, yeah, man, that's all I got on that one.
Well, last talking point for you then. You're so good at comps. Who's Michael Wortham's comp? Does he have one? I was trying to think about this. Brooks asked me this on our hit earlier this week. I can't think of a good comp for him.
Oh, man. So, I mean,
because the fact that he can throw it like a real quarterback, he's not just a skill guy who can throw it. Like, he actually can throw it like a real quarterback. Like,
you see him set his feet. You see him set his feet. Set his feet when he threw the touchdown to Gale.
He
set his feet. I was like, but yeah, he's played quarterback. I
quarterback. Yeah, it makes it so different, because like what they're doing now, like when they get a gash play and then they run the hurry up and he runs up there and runs the wildcat.
Oh my gosh,
it's literally unstoppable. It's you can't stop it, because the other team is so on their heels at that exact moment, and he's just raking it in on those plays. I mean, he must have 4 touchdowns on that exact scenario. So he's just really fun to watch, and he's a really unique player. I really can't think of anybody that's been like him. Griz, otherwise, FCS, like anything. I can't really think of a guy that's been like him.
Yeah, the guys that, I mean, because he's fast as well. And obviously I don't know what his 40 time is, and I know guys play faster and slower than their 40 time, what it says sometimes, but I think Michael's probably a legitimate low 4.5, high 4.4 guy. But the thing about him is he's extremely explosive, and he gets there in a hurry, and he's very sudden. So, I mean, he's kind of a cross between, man, he doesn't quite have the top end as, like, Jakeem Grant, who played in the NFL.
Yeah.
Turner. He's got a little bit of him, and that's kind of what sticks out to me. He's got a little bit of a Jakeem Grant. Jakeem wasn't a big guy.
The number one, I racked my brain about this when Brooks asked me. The number one guy I came up with was Randall Cobb when he was in college.
Okay.
Cobb's taller.
Mm-hmm. Cobb's a big guy too. Cobb's pretty, like, Cobb's not big, but like, yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, Cobb's more like 5'11", 200. Wortham's like 5'9", 175 probably. Yeah. He's pretty small.
Oh my gosh. Colter, he was my teammate. I'm going to think of it. It's going to kill me.
Where was he?
Undrafted free agent. Ended up starting for the Falcons. Small slot receiver. Oh my gosh. Go 2017 roster. Little dude. Then he went to Cleveland. It's going to kill me. It's going to kill me.
Sanu? No.
Not Mo. Oh man, hold on. How much time do we have?
I'm looking at the Falcons 2017 roster. This is actually funny and fun because I love comps.
This is killing me.
Their receivers were, Julio Jones. That ain't it. Taylor Gabriel.
Gabe.
Yeah, Adley Christian. That's a good one.
Gabe. That's who it is.
That's a really good one. Actually.
Gabe could throw.
Similar size, like 5. Gabriel was listed at 5'8", 170. So like, basically same as Wortham. Yeah, he had a pretty good career too. I mean, for being an undrafted guy out of a D2, it was a pretty good career.
Yeah, he balled, man. That dude was a stud.
That's a good one. I like that one. I can't get Damian Jones out of my head for Eli Gilman either. That was a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh man, dude, I'm telling you, Damian was a problem, and it's just like watching Eli. I'm like that. Yeah.
Another day, flavorless forage.
What in the heck is this magic? It smells intriguing. Could this be the answer to my lifelong struggle against bland wilderness cuisine? Okay, deep breaths. Don't get your hopes up, big guy. Finally, a meal fit for a famished Bigfoot. Thank you, Alpine Touch. My Rocky Mountain adventures just got a whole lot tastier.
Thanks so much for listening to the Big Sky Breakdown podcast series and for tuning into our Skyline Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to both the podcast and all your various podcast hosted networks and to the YouTube channel as well. Thanks to our great partners, including Ryan Miller and Coburn Law. Ryan Miller and Coburn are ace attorneys, each with different expertise. Paul Ryan, the master when it comes to DUIs. Angie Miller, excellent in medical malpractice. Abigail Coburn, federal drug charges. She's the one you want defending you. They can help in any and all sorts of criminal defense cases. They have a live answering service that's available 24 hours a day, 406-542-2233. You can also visit rmcattorneys.com. Ryan and Miller and Coburn, your Montana attorneys. Let's hear from RMC right now. So tell me about just the behind the scenes for the firm expansion from just a branding and promotions standpoint.
Yeah, so I love the branding aspect of the business. That is something that, I don't know why, but it's like my little creativity outlet. And so when we were looking at doing the rebrand, we had our diamonds and we wanted to kind of update those to incorporate, where we were going. And so we talked about it. And one of the big things that drives us is that we are that link from our clients to justice, that we, get them to justice that they deserve. And so that's kind of where those 3 diamonds came into play, and that inner link to represent us connecting our clients to justice. And it really hits home for us.
So what do you think of Cal Poly? I mean, obviously Paul Wolf has finally got it going. It took him forever to revamp that thing after the triple
option team. I know that's going to take a while. And the other challenge they have too is we'll keep it unnamed here because we're on this, but like some of the schools and academic requirements. I mean, that's a hard school.
Oh, totally.
Academically. So recruiting to that.
Well, you can't really get transfers. Like you can't take any junior college guys really, I mean, actually they do have one junior college guy, the D'Amato guy.
Yep.
He was at Montana State for like half a second.
Yeah.
Battleback JC. But anyways, yeah, they can't take the same type of transfers.
It's hard. I mean, it's an engineering school like Davis, right?
Yeah, right. And it's a polytechnic engineering too. So
so
you got to have like perfect scores on your ACTs to get.
You're not going to get it. I mean, it's a beautiful area, but it's one of the reasons why they ran the triple option. I mean, you run the triple option with schools where it's hard to recruit talent into because it's hard to defend and easy to teach. But I think that Paul Wolf and Von Oppen and just the whole crew has it pointed in the direction that they want it. I mean, they damn near beat Davis, and they handled Sac. And I mean, some of the losses they haven't been just terrible. I mean, they're a good ball team, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before a guy like Paul Wolf ends up getting them on track consistently to have the ability to recruit. Because it's not going to be, I say it was hard to recruit. It's not going to be hard to recruit to that school when you have a successful football program and then you get it rolling. And they got the finances behind them too. So,
yeah, I've talked to Tim Plow about this a lot because they have a complicated recruiting system too. But like he says, in 2025, because of the internet, you can recruit. If you want to do it, you can go recruit anybody you want. Like, is it that efficient? I don't know. Like the Griz Justin Green's so good at making it efficient for them. The Cats are so good at that too. Like, hey, here's the guys we want. Here's the guys we can get into our school, et cetera, et cetera. But like Plow always said, hey, we want to get mostly California guys, and here's the California guys that can get into our school. So we don't have to mess around with any of these other guys. Let's find the best guys of that group and go get them. I think the other factor that's so interesting about Cal Poly, though, is that how much Big Sky flavor they have on that staff. Like you mentioned, Von Oppen. I mean, Tim Rosenbaugh is the offensive coordinator. He's got deep ties with the Griz. And they got multiple other guys on that staff that have been in and around the Big Sky, and I think that helps you because I think you have less unknowns when you have that sort of makeup on your staff, and they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to the Montana schools too, just because they've been around them and been competing.
Been here or haven't been able to I mean, I don't want to say haven't been able to stay here, but I mean, they've been here. Everybody in the Big Sky Conference, I don't care what you say, they're going to say, yeah, I want to be at my school. Every person wants to be at Montana or Montana State. Period. It is the top. It's the top echelon. Everyone has, for years and years and years, tried to replicate what these schools have, and it's it's it shows. They come into town and they got a chip on their shoulder, man, and they're gonna play their asses off. And Rosie and Cody are gonna have these boys geeked up to come in here and play. It's gonna be the best atmosphere they see all year long, and yeah, man.
Any thoughts on their personnel? That's what I'll get you out of here.
Yeah,
I like the receiver Briscoe, and then I like the linebacker. I think D'Amato's a good player.
Briscoe's legit.
Yeah, he's good.
Watching that Davis tape, I haven't got into the rest of it, but watching that Davis tape, that first series was pretty impressive. That slant route for a touchdown, and I just kind of look at what they do, their identity. They have a pretty balanced. They try to be balanced in the running game and gap scheme, and on the perimeter they got some guys that they can get the ball to. I'll have a chance tonight. I'm going to be able to watch a couple games, and tomorrow I'll be able to watch a couple games and then kind of go back and see what they like to do situationally. But it's going to be fun to see. I know that from a football standpoint, they're a smart team the way that they play. They don't play. I mean, they're well coached. They don't make stupid mistakes, and that's one of the reasons I think that you're seeing them be in striking distance of winning some of these games. I mean, they should have beat Davis, and
they beat Sac.
And they beat Sac. I mean, they played better than Davis. I mean, but Davis found a way to win, and that's what good teams do. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a fun one to watch. And again, I think I said it last week, but I think Montana should win convincingly. But it's a dangerous team that's going to have a target on their back.
Yeah, well, the last thing is the interior defensive line. I thought Idaho State's interior defensive line won the day against Montana, and that's something they definitely got to shore up. And I think 60, Ethan Rodriguez, the D tackle for Cal Poly, is one of the best guys in the whole league. I thought that last year. I went to go watch the Cal Poly tape to evaluate Elijah Ponder, who's playing for the Patriots.
Yep.
And 60 was the guy I kept showing up.
Watching, like, who's this? Yeah.
He's banged up right now, and I don't know if he's going to play on Saturday or not. But either way, that's something the Griz got to shore up, is they got to stop that interior penetration, because 97, that ex-Marine big boy that Idaho State had, that guy whooped their ass on Saturday. That guy was a monster.
That guy was a problem. It was unbelievable to watch him just cut the line in half multiple times, and the inside and stretch zone that has been so successful for so long for Montana this season was just, I mean, it was taken away by a few of those guys, but they were leaning on that Colin Lewis a lot, and he showed up in large part and single-handedly wrecked a lot of those inside runs. I mean, just runs in general, but I mean, not.
Hello, my name is Kelly Ayat, quarterback at the University of Montana. In the off-season, it's important to do everything you can to prepare for the season. In high school, that means funding your program. In my experience, Vertical Raise is the ultimate online fundraiser platform. Now broaden your reach of your fundraiser and bring in more money than other platforms. And there are no sneaky or hidden fees like other companies. If you're trying to raise money for your program, reach out to Vertical Raise today.
I mean, not to take away from him what I thought showed how capable Montana is of being elite this year is they were made one-dimensional. And the second half, I know it didn't seem like a lot, but in the second half, Eli had, 5 yards of total offense. I mean, that's pretty significant. I mean, that's
better.
110 yards if you put it two halves together, but he needed it. I mean, he did it when he needed it, but my point is, though they were one-dimensional, they were extremely dangerous. And Kaylee Ayat, man, I know that it was the Michael Wortham show, but dude, that kid, he threw that pick. I thought that could have been a better throw. Brooks Davis should have cut flat. He didn't cut flat. He kind of fell off of his route. But man, that kid can be so special. I mean, he is special, but he could be like very special. And like, it's just, it shows you they were one-dimensional, and you look at what they did. I mean, that's the mark of a good team, because you throw on the Idaho tape. Yeah, they threw the ball. They ran all over Idaho.
Yeah.
That's what they can do also. So yeah, take away the run or take away the pass, but we're going to burn you where you don't. And we haven't had a Montana team there hasn't been a Montana team like that probably since 2009.
Jeez, man. I mean, I don't even know if there's, in terms of erasing the run game and then the Griz being able to throw for 400 yards. I don't think they've been a Montana team like that since like 2004 when Craig Oaks was there, man.
Probably not.
Because I mean, to be completely fair, like 08, 09, the offensive lines were so freaking good that like you couldn't take away the run game really. So,
the NFL O-line, man, like those guys were freaky. But yeah, since Craig Oaks was here, I mean, I mean, that guy, he's a transfer from Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Craig, that guy he could operate, man. And that's what I see at Kaylee he's got the legs. I mean, he's done it probably 3 or 4 times this year where, I mean, that 3rd and 13 that he sloughed off and he completed. I mean, it was 30, what was it? 31-18.
Yep.
And 3rd and 13. And if he doesn't make that throw, it's a completely different ball game. So yeah, man, I couldn't believe him. I couldn't believe that he did that. And those are some of the things that he's done. He did it on 4th and 11 against North Dakota. He did it on the double move with Brooks Davis. He did it on the 3rd and 13 against Idaho State. He's showing up when the game it's cutting time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to watch. They're really fun to watch on offense. And I think that the coaches deserve a ton of credit because I have been ridiculously critical of what they were doing on offense multiple times over the last couple of years, and they're letting it rip, man. Brent Pease is cooking right now. I think
he's got the guys to do it, though. He's got the guys to do it.
But here's the number one factor: Bobby Hauck's letting them do it.
Letting him do it, yeah.
And you can tell Bobby Kennedy's having an influence on that. I think they're really fun to watch on offense, and I think the fans are really excited about it because it's the easiest thing for fans to understand is when the quarterback is ripping it up, and the quarterback is very clearly ripping it up, man. He's leading the league in passing, and Griz fans, it's been a while since the guy's been leading the league.
Hey, I'll leave it with this. So this is one last thing that I'll add to that. You talk about complimentary football. You don't want people to put up 38 on you. Obviously, that was the first time that they've had that happen. What it allows you to do though on defense is you can take some chances, and you don't have to play a defense it's like some of the ones that I was a part of when we were there, where you have a good offense, but it's 4 down. You got 3 linebackers off the ball, and you're in a cover 4 shell, and everybody's got gap responsibility, and it's like it's like they don't have to do that. They can take some chances. They can go try to take some shots on interceptions and play a little bit more aggressive in the blitz game. It affords you the ability to take chances to where when you do have a game like that unfolded the way it did against Idaho, they can get away from you really, really quick because you can just heat things up and dial things up because you have an offense that could just get after it. So,
well, it should be a fun homecoming Saturday in Missoula, and we're into the second half of the season. So thanks for doing it.
Bro.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too. Take care, bro.
So will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.